fired leading up to a standoff in Joplin Thursday night.
And we've got a beautiful fall day for us today and a beautiful fall weekend on the way, but there's still some rain out there. The latest coming up.
And the FBI looks to charge the president's son with crimes involving gun purchases.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin police say shots were fired during a vehicle pursuit last night that ended in a standoff with law enforcement. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, the JPD releases new details that led to the arrest of a 32-year-old Arkansas man. It started around 9:30 last night as officers were attempting to pull over a possible intoxicated driver in the 2600 block of West 7th Street. Officers say the driver fled southbound on Schifferdecker Avenue. Police used a spike strip to deflate the suspect's tires. Officers say the driver then fired 2 gunshots at the pursuing officers. His pickup eventually stopped near Coyote and Concord Lane, south of 32nd and Schifferdecker. Police say the man refused to exit and fired a 3rd gunshot at the responding officers. Joplin SWAT team arrived on scene, and after about an hour and a half, the suspect exited his truck and was taken into custody. Official charges have not been filed, but Joplin police are asking for first-degree assault on law enforcement, armed criminal action, and felony resisting arrest. No one was injured during the standoff. The Ottawa County Sheriff is now offering a $2,500 reward for help capturing 2 escaped inmates. 4 inmates escaped the county jail on Tuesday. 2 have already been arrested, Rusty Reese and Buck Martindale, but 2 are still at large, and they are Daniel Zajac and Tyler Tavis. Again, there is now a $2,500 reward offered for the capture of each man. Authorities say they should both be considered armed and dangerous. And the KBI says Monday's death investigation in Labette County is now considered a double homicide investigation. The bodies were found Monday morning on 16,000 Road in Mound Valley. Their identities have been confirmed as 43-year-old Leanda Pound and 39-year-old Jason Bacon, both from Mound Valley. Authorities say autopsy results determine the victims died from gunshot wounds. Anyone with information is asked to call the police. Turning to the forecast, we've got cooler temps coming just in time for the weekend. And Chris Warner joins us with the first look at the forecast.
Yeah, that cold front delivered on its promise of giving us much more fall-like weather, and that's what we are experiencing today, and we'll hold on to it tomorrow and even through Sunday before we start to warm up again. Skywatch Storm Tracker on the local level is clear, but off to our northwest, we are watching. You can see a few stray showers tried to get into our northern counties. We're still keeping an eye on this batch out here in northern Kansas. There is the remote possibility it could skim our northern counties, but odds are the majority of us are going to remain dry. The most we're going to get out of this time is just some partly cloudy skies. Check out these fall-like temperatures. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful here at 12:03. 65 in Independence and Neodesha, 66 Parsons, 61 Pittsburgh, 65 Joplin, 63 in Monette on this beautiful Friday. We're still, of course, monitoring the drought situation. No changes, at least some, good news there, but we still have a huge chunk of the area in exceptional drought. Then we have the extreme drought that surrounds that and severe drought that surrounds that. And we have rain on the way, but it's really not going to be enough to make a dent in all of that. But at least it's rain. Going through the rest of the day, we're going to be 68 degrees, partly cloudy. We'll be 67 at 2, 66 by 5, and 57 by 8 o'clock. As I mentioned, we still have some rain chances on the horizon. We're going to talk about those rain chances and take a look at the 7-day forecast and, of course, the Friday night football forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, finally feeling like fall Friday night football.
Yeah, it's perfect football weather tonight.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the FBI closes in on President Biden's son, Hunter, on potential tax and gun purchasing charges. Sources tell CBS News the FBI and IRS believe that after years of investigating Hunter Biden, they have enough evidence to charge the president's son with tax and gun purchase-related crimes, but none connected with his business dealings overseas. An attorney for the president's son called the allegations inherently biased, one-sided, and inaccurate. Skylar Henry has the latest.
Multiple sources tell CBS News the FBI has believed for months they've gathered enough evidence to prosecute the president's son with tax crimes and making false statements on a gun purchase. The sources said the FBI sent its findings earlier this year to U.S. Attorney David Weiss in Delaware. Weiss was appointed by President Trump and is yet to bring charges.
He's got to make that final call under the principles of federal prosecution, not the initial call that the FBI has made in gathering evidence.
A lawyer for Hunter Biden called the apparent leak inherently biased, one-sided, and inaccurate, adding their team believes prosecutors should not be pressured, rushed, or criticized for doing their job. The federal investigation into Hunter Biden's business practices has been going on for years. It began long before Joe Biden became president. Mr. Biden has consistently denied any knowledge of his son's work.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business.
The federal criminal probe explored whether the younger Biden, his Uncle James, and other business associates violated tax, money laundering, and foreign lobbying laws. Earlier this year, the probe narrowed, focusing on delinquent tax payment, including income Hunter Biden earned as a board member for a Ukrainian energy company. A source close to the president's son said he repaid more than $1 million in past due taxes. GOP leaders say they will investigate the Biden family business if they take control of key congressional committees in January. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Hunter Biden's lawyer is calling for an investigation into how the information apparently leaked from within the FBI. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, the latest jobs report.
Companies are adding jobs, but hiring is slowing down. I'm Elise Preston with a look at the new monthly jobs report and the impact we could see on interest rates.
And later, we're making a Tuscan chicken one pot in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The job market remains strong, but there are signs hiring is slowing down. Elise Preston reports.
New crop of candidates. This job fair is specifically for seniors. Donna DiCarlo has been retired for 5 years, but is now looking for part-time work.
Something just to get us out of the house, get us involved with people, and maybe put a little money in the pocket.
Many employers are still hiring, but it appears the red-hot job market is cooling down. Facebook's parent company Meta recently announced a hiring freeze. Google and Apple previously released plans to slow future hiring. The Labor Department says the economy added 263,000 jobs in September, down from previous months. The unemployment rate ticked down to 3.5%.
Well, I think what's good is that job growth is decelerating at a pretty good pace, meaning that it's not jumping off of a cliff.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says a hiring slowdown was expected. The Federal Reserve is looking for signs of weakness in the job market. The board has been raising interest rates to fight inflation, but prices remain high.
So that probably leads them on a path towards raising rates again in November and then again in December.
If the Fed sees hiring slow dramatically in the coming months, it may cause them to ease those interest rate hikes. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson meets with students as he tours schools and training centers across the state. On Thursday, Governor Parson visited Crowder College and the Joplin High School Technology Centers. The governor says even though the employment rate is the lowest it has ever been, the state still has over 100,000 job openings. He says the quicker students get their training done, they can join the workforce and fill some of those spots.
But these training centers, the private sector is getting involved with these. We want to support that, so financially, we're going to be able to do that at higher levels that's ever been done in our state's history. But again, we're expecting them to get these students in here and to get them out of here. And if it means to build on, to expand, that's exactly what we want them to do because the demand's there.
There's 127,000 jobs open right now. Many of them are in highly skilled trades. And that's what we do at Crowder College.
Currently, Crowder College has about 160 students at its Advanced Training and Technology Center. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Join us as we take our taste buds on a trip to Tuscany with a mouth-watering main dish. You won't need a passport for this one.
And you won't need a passport for today's forecast as Chris Warner returns with your complete weekend forecast.
We've got an absolutely beautiful, picture-perfect fall day across the 4 states for us. The only thing that's missing is a few rain showers because we absolutely need rain across the area. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing a couple of showers trying to get going just to the north of Chanute, but they died out. It's what's off to the northwest that we're watching. It's a batch of showers and some thunderstorms trying to move into our area. They may skirt our extreme northern counties, but I think for the most part, we're going to remain dry from this particular system. We're not going to see much other than some cloud cover out of that. And at 7th and Rangeline, you can see absolutely beautiful skies out there. You can see some of those clouds off in the distance, but nothing too crazy going on. And temperatures are absolutely lovely to match. 65 right now in Joplin. And across the area, it's not bad either. We've got 65 Sedan, Independence, Neodesha, 66 Parsons, a little cooler in Pittsburgh, 61, 60 Fort Scott, and Iola checking in much cooler at 57 degrees right now. And while this isn't the same extreme we saw a couple of weeks ago where we had a 40-degree drop in temperatures, we're still upwards of 10 to 20 degrees cooler now than what we were 24 hours ago thanks to that cold front. And then there's the great news for allergy sufferers too as pollen counts continue to fall. 4.7 out of 12 for today and a 3.4 out of 12 forecasted for tomorrow. Now as we go through the rest of today, be 68 degrees. It'll be 67 at 2, 66 by 5, and 57 by 8 with some passing clouds in the sky. Now tonight, you may need the heater. At least I would, because this is chilly. 51 at 11, 49 by 2 a.m. We dropped to an overnight low of 45 degrees under partly cloudy skies across the area. However, that means it's perfect weather for Friday night football here in the 4 states. Calling cloud interference with some of the partly cloudy skies. Will be 60 at kickoff and 57 by halftime. So make sure if you're out there at the games tonight supporting your favorite high school team, take a jacket. You're absolutely going to need it. Heading into the weekend, we got a little bit of a temperature difference here, but it's still pretty pleasant. 69 on Saturday and 75 on Sunday. We still have some chilly nights along the way, and we'll have a few more clouds Saturday than what we have Sunday. And then as I mentioned earlier, we will start to warm up next week. So let's talk about the future. As we go through the weekend, we have those partly cloudy skies. It's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week that we have our better chances of some showers and thunderstorms out there. We're not talking a ton of rain, a deluge, or anything quite like that, but we are watching those rain chances, which any rain we can get at this point is absolutely wonderful. So again, we stay nice through the weekend, nice and mild. We start to warm back up into the lower 80s as we head into next week. Those storm chances continue to increase, kind of reaching an apex, if you will, on Wednesday. Will be 80 degrees. And then check out Thursday. After the rain clears out, we clear out and temperatures fall a bit, at least briefly again. Heading into next weekend, 65 next Friday, 66 next Saturday. And as you can see by Sunday, we turn around and start to warm right back up. But in between there, look at next Friday night's low, 38 degrees. So we're getting a bit of a roller coaster here as we're trying to settle into a more fall-like pattern across the area. But the one most important thing to take out of all of this is those rain chances, because any rain we can get is better than no rain.
That's for sure. We will take it. And I'm glad that the Wednesday one is now up to a 40% chance.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at some of the latest runs, we may even be able to up it on Tuesday as well, because it's looking like Tuesday and Wednesday are pretty decent shots of some showers and maybe some rumbles of thunder.
In the meantime, we've got a chilly weekend ahead of us.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's chilly, but it's fall-like. It's where it should be. It's just compared to what we've seen and what we're going to see, it is on the chilly side.
That's true. All right, thanks, Chris. We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Corporal Tim Cottingham in the U.S. Army. The Lockwood, Missouri native joined the 214th Infantry in 2006. He served a tour in Iraq, earning a number of honors, including the Army Commendation Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, and the Combat Infantry Badge. To Corporal Tim Cottingham, we thank you, our 4-state hero. You won't need a passport for today's recipe, but it will make you feel like you're sitting at a sidewalk bistro in Tuscany. Howard shows us how to make his Tuscan chicken one pot in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
But I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're having dinner al fresco style in a small bistro in Tuscany. All you hear is the clanging of forks, the pouring of wine, and the faint sounds of music echoing through the streets. Then, your waiter brings you your dinner, and all you can smell is fresh herbs, the scent of a light tomatoey wine sauce, and the delicate yet distinct aroma of olive oil. Okay, now open your eyes. If this sounds good to you, then you're gonna love what we're making today. It's a Tuscan-style chicken dish that goes together like this. After flouring and browning a cut-up chicken in some olive oil, we add some peppers and onions, a handful of mushrooms, a chopped tomato, and a can of garbanzo beans that we've drained. To bring all this together, we top this with some marinara sauce, a bit of water, some white wine, and a few fresh herbs. After this cooks down for a bit and all the flavors come together, we'll take the chicken out and stir in some fresh cream. Mamma mia, does this look good or what? If only you could smell the aroma. Well, you can. All you need to do is visit our website and get the recipe for our Tuscan chicken one pot. And the best part, there's no tipping required. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a truly Tuscan way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
One more look at that 7-day forecast. We stay fall-like through the weekend, and we warm back into the 80s by the start of next week, but we're also watching increasing rain chances, something we desperately need here in the area, and it's looking like a pretty good shot of rain, especially Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right. Well, coming up tonight at 5, we know the COVID-19 pandemic has taken a toll on the mental health of many of us, especially teens. In Health Watch, we look at new research showing kids who had their sports seasons canceled suffered significantly during that time. Plus, we hear from members of the Carthage Power Crews after they returned from Hurricane Ian. And tonight, the skies of Columbus, Kansas will light up with hot air balloons. We'll check out other activities going on during Columbus Days. Join us for those stories. Much more tonight on the KOAM News at 5.
Yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff coming up. Got a great forecast ahead of us, a great weekend. It's just all around a great day Friday here in the 4 states. A nice finally Friday. Well, thank you so much for joining us for the KOAM News at noon.
We'll see you right back here. The rest of the team will see you right back here at 5 o'clock.